From marketing to onboarding to client fulfillment, there are so many ways that a projector can fall out of alignment in business. So how do you manage it all without the hustle or the burnout? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Frequency of Self, your go-to resource for the practical application of human design in life, business, and relationships. If you're ready to experience lasting transformation, hit subscribe. I'm Amanda Horvath, a 4/1 splenic projector, and I have been in business for myself since 2015. Throughout those years, I have spent thousands of dollars on online courses, done-for-you services, as well as a one-to-one coaching. I've also dove very deep into the world of human design, especially when it comes to how to use this system within my business. Along my way, I have uncovered 5 core principles that, when applied, lead to success as a projector. Now, I specifically want to hone in on what it looks like to make money as a projector in the entrepreneurial space. So this is not getting a job, this is being your own boss, showing up and making it happen without burnout. When you nail these 5 principles, success is inevitable. Be sure to watch all 5 because just missing one of these can make a huge difference in your success. Principle 1, start with a problem. People buy solutions to their problems. So by beginning with a problem and going about finding a solution to it, you are setting yourself up for inevitable business success. Now, this is also really valuable as a projector because we have a focused and absorbing aura that tends to go deeper than anyone else will go into the things that we choose to focus our energy on. Ideally, the problem you choose to solve is something that you look at and think, if I can't solve this, then no one's going to be able to solve it. You really want it to be in your projector genius zone. It's not something that you currently have the solution for, but you're going to find it, and you are the perfect person to make it happen. One final thing that I'll say on this is that often your mess is your message. Let me give you an example. When I was first getting started as an entrepreneur, I had a videography business and people were paying me thousands of dollars to come to their house and shoot these videos. Well, I had a splenic hit.
I will always trust my spleen. My spleen is silent.
My spleen is spleening right now.
That's the spleen right there.
To step in front of the camera and start sharing my message. Yet I didn't have the time or money to make it happen. So I could not be like my clients and pay someone to come to me, nor did I have the time to do it myself because I was spending all my time doing it for the clients. So what did I do? I set off on the adventure of solving the problem of how to create videos without breaking the bank or taking up tons of your time. And that was something that people were willing to pay for. Principle 2, leverage your one-to-one power. While scalability may be the goal, it's not where you're going to start. As projectors, we thrive in one-to-one environments. That's because we have the ability to guide the person on the other end. So what you are going to do is you have this problem and you likely have started thinking through how to solve that problem already, and you've created a bit of a roadmap for how to do this. Well, now you want to pitch individuals that want to solve this problem on you being the guide to help them get there. By beginning with this one-to-one approach, you're going to find very unique issues that arise rather than doing it in a group setting where you don't have full visibility of what the hurdles people are facing are. And the more one-to-one clients that you can take on in the beginning when solving this problem, it begins to become apparent the overall system that you are using to solve this problem. Because ultimately, projectors, we are systems nerds. We are constantly looking for the most efficient path to be able to get something done because we have this understanding that we have limited energy, and that's why we so value efficiency and not wasting time. So you work with the clients one-to-one, the system rises to the surface, and you start to see the solution. Principle 3, outsource early and often. You're not going to be good at everything, nor do you want to do it all yourself. You are a projector and you need to be efficient with how you use your energy. The more you can play the role of the guide and less the role of the doer, the better and more energized you are going to feel. Because of this, you really want to begin outsourcing very early, as soon as possible and as often as you can. And the place that I recommend starting with is actually your area of expertise. When you know something so deeply, you can begin to outsource tasks because you can create the training material for that. So many people, they start by attempting to outsource something that they hate and they don't know how to do. And this just leads to giving away your power to someone else and then being very bitter because they can't figure it out themselves. So it's better to start in your area of expertise, really create a step-by-step training protocol, and then hire someone for $7 an hour or less. In many places you can do that, and they can actually begin to execute properly on the things that are very tedious within your area of expertise. So once again, coming back to my example, I was helping business owners be able to create videos without breaking the bank or taking up tons of your time. Well, in order to do that, outsourcing was a huge part of the process, and I had to crack the code on how to outsource to the Philippines and still get a good product. I tried this many times and it got a horrible edit. The way that I had to solve it was to begin to really systematize the entire process and break down parts of the process that were tedious versus parts that were creative, because with editing, there's a natural part that is creative. So what I ended up doing was creating a system that allowed me to outsource 80% of the editing, and then I could come in and do the final 20%, which really added that creativity to it, and be able to train an editor over a longer period of time of how to be able to get that 20% and take it off my hands more and more over a span of time. So take a second right now and think about it. What parts of your expertise are tedious that ideally you could pass off or delegate to someone else? Principle 4, prioritize long-term success over short-term gain. You want to avoid strategies that have a quick win to them. These strategies might work really well for the manifesting generators of the world that can quickly implement and get a quick win and move on to the next thing and do it all over again. As a projector, once again, we have more limited energy, and it's better to take a long-term approach to the strategies that we implement. You really want to leverage efforts compounded over time. And there are a lot of strategies out there that leverage this strategy versus the short-term ones. So for example, Instagram is very short term, while YouTube is a lot longer term. Same with podcasting or Pinterest. And this concept goes beyond marketing as well. Those are just the examples that are always top of mind for me. Each day that you chip away at your goal, you're going to get closer to a lasting life of ease instead of chasing these stress cycles that give you an initial burst only to have to repeat the process again. This also works really well for our projector energy beyond just not having tons of energy, because there's a tendency to take a little bit longer for things to take off. And when you approach things in a slow and steady pace, you're going to find that the connections that you get with other people are going to be a lot deeper, and you are going to be far more recognized in the lasting relationship environments and create a loyal fan base that continues to buy from you. Principle 5, follow an existing marketing strategy. As a projector, you do not have energy to create your own marketing plan. There are so many people out there that have already cracked the code on something that works. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose a strategy that is more of that long-term gain, and you are going to ideally find the design of the coach that is guiding you through it. The best way to go about this is just to type in the name of this person plus astro chart on the back side. This usually helps you find their birth data if they are big enough, and then you can add that into a human design app to see their energy. You do not have to work with just people that have your same type, but knowing the design of the person that you're working with is going to really help you pinpoint the differences between you and them. Now, human design does not dictate what you can or cannot do. Rather, it gives you the how. So here's a very important nuance to following a marketing strategy that is already out there. You are going to follow it perfectly. It is way too easy, and I see too many projectors look at a plan and think that's never going to work for me without even trying it. Human design is ultimately an experiment, and unless you experiment, you're never going to know what works and what doesn't work. The better approach to following someone else's marketing plan is to really ask yourself the question, do I know when enough is enough, as you move through your day? When you get a yes to that, you stop at that point. So you're managing your energy on on a moment-by-moment basis rather than by looking at strategies and writing them off from the beginning before you even try them. Naturally, it's going to take you longer to execute on the strategy than it might for other people, but trust the process and trust your pace. The way that I see it is that if you prioritize alignment at all costs, then you're never going to build a business out of alignment because you built that business in alignment the whole way through. Once you complete someone's existing marketing plan, you can then reflect whether or not it worked for you. You'll be able to see the system from start to finish without judging each piece along the way. And that way you get your projector big picture perspective and can take sections that really worked for you. Then go out and implement someone else's marketing plan. Even to this day, I am consistently implementing other people's marketing plans. It has continued to work for me, and I know it will for you too, if you give it a go. In case you'd like to steal my marketing plan, I would absolutely love to have a chat with you. You can find a link to that in the description below to book a call with me. I really specialize in helping individuals build sustainable marketing plans based on your unique energy using your human design and your astrology. I also have done for you services where we will do your branding, do your editing, set up your whole editing system so that you can outsource the editing from there, as well as creating funnels and all of that jazz. So if you're curious about that, you would really like to be handheld through the process, go ahead and book a call with me in the description below. Now you know the 5 core principles to making money as a projector, the entrepreneurial edition. Which core principle are you going to implement? Share it in the comments section below and put this emoji on the screen so I know you're my people that made it all the way to the end. And finally, if you'd like to watch another video on how to be a projector in business, specifically how to market yourself online, go ahead and watch this video next. I'll see you there.